Yeah, good afternoon. This is Bang Bang Rahil. Please press the like button and subscribe. Do you know Largactil? Yeah, Largactil. Let's talk about Largactil. You got people like Paul Sykes. Yeah, they talk about Paul Sykes in where was he? I don't know. Durham. I don't know where he was. Talking about him saying that he was the hardest man in prison and all that, and they used to jab him up with Largactil to control him, and then he'd be taking Largactil 2, 3 times a day, 25, 50 mil. Really? What about Roy Shaw then? I think Roy Shaw, I reckon he was one of the first people I know, hard man, that was taking this Largactil. Listen, they couldn't control Roy Shaw, mate. It doesn't matter how much Largatreal they put into him, they couldn't control him. He was still taking doors off. He was still knocking screws out, eyes are winking. You know what I mean? And he weren't going around getting little boys and taking them to his cell and doing all sorts of things to him, like Paul Sykes was, which I heard about by this guy, this prison officer. I reckon Paul Sykes used to get little boys into the cell. He had a little group of them controlling kids and all that game. And he was on Largactil a lot. He's taking 5 to 2.5 mil per day or per week. Yeah, and that can control him. Well, how can they control? Well, don't sound as if they control him too well, mate. If he was taking little boys and all that game, and he was bashing up screws and all that, this, that, and the other. Let me tell you, Roy Shaw, and it was one of the hardest men I know in prison. Yeah, Roy Shaw was a very, very powerful, strong man. I was sparring with Roy Shaw down at Beckett, and I've heard a lot of talks about Roy Shaw. As I said before, Roy Shaw used to take the doors off the cells. I used to take the locks off, the little locks off. I used to do that, yeah. So me and Roy Shaw got a thing about it. They also, don't forget, they darted me up with Largatreal. They shot me with a gun with Largatreal and was giving me Largatreal every day to control me. But I was in a prison. I was in a block cell. So what could I do? You know what I mean? But all they done with me is took my life from me inwardly. They took it all from me, mate. And then from 19.5 stone to go down to 9 stone, this goes to show you what they can do to you if they want to do it to you. And you're no one, you know what I mean? But there are certain people that survived all that. I'm one of them, Rahil, Roy Shaw, Paul Sykes, he survived. He survived it, Paul Sykes. Look at it down there, Lenny McLean. I remember Lenny McLean in Brixton. He was definitely under Largatreal, mate. They had him beat. I mean, I had see him sitting outside in the exercise yard. He was beat, mate. They beat him. They must have Largatreal him 24/7. Maybe they jabbed him up first. Maybe he went into one, and they held him down and jabbed him up. He takes him hold him down, mate. He was about 20 stone then. Big, powerful man. So they must have really put it in him, put it on, rammed it in him, mate, and they jumped all over him because he was a big, powerful man. They've done the same with me, but once they dart you, they shoot you. It's a different kettle of fish, yeah. I should imagine with Roy Shaw, they might have done the same thing. With Lenny, they definitely must have done the same thing, darted him up first, and then put it into him and Largatreal him all the time. Because what he does, the Largatreal, it makes you want it even more. You become independent on Largatreal. You know, there's plenty. Look at Frankie Frazer. I mean, Frankie Frazer can't really have a fight, but he's a very, very dangerous man. He will keep going. He will smash you to pieces, and he won't stop, mate. He would pick something up and he would hit you 24/7 with it. So places like Wandsworth, places like, well, all the prisons he went to, they Largatreal him up at the end of the day to get him to move him. I think the only prison I think they didn't do it when I was there was Chelmsford prison. He walked out and he knew he had to go, and he walked out. But other prisons, mate, Frankie Frazer was an handful. So they Largatreal him up. Look at Peter Kelly, number one, Peter Kelly. Peter Kelly used to throw his poo over him at 24/7, and the pea pot and the wee pot and whatever, all sorts of stuff. Peter Kelly, big, powerful man. I mean, they've done the same to him. They Largatreal him up, took him down the stairs and bashed him up, kicked him all places you don't want to be kicked, smashed him to pieces, took him to the block and threatened to kill him. if he didn't behave himself. And then they Largatreal him up all the time. That's what happens, and then you become independent. Oh, sorry, not independent, dependent on the drugs they're giving you. Largatreal, that's what happens to all of us, yeah? And you can imagine what he does to your head, giving them drugs. I mean, listen to the guy, that prison guy, whatever his name is, I forget his name, some prison warden. Don't forget, he was medical screw, so he had the worst screws he could ever possibly have. He keeps saying that he was, he done this and he done that, but listen to some of the stories where he's jabbed people up, yeah? So he didn't care too much about who he jabbed up, mate, and who he Largatrealed up. Don't worry about that, mate. And he knew the damage that he done. You can hear what he's saying. He knew the damage that he was doing to people when he jabbed them up with Largatreal. There were so many people I know, right? Look at Wilkinson, George Wilkinson, the one I looked after in Chelmsford prison, the one that took hostage in Parkhurst. You know, I mean, they killed him. They killed him. There's a book called Fighting for Your Life, mate. You should read that. I mean, George Wilkinson was in Chelmsford with me. I looked after him. They couldn't control him, mate, and they was giving him so much stuff, as much stuff to kill an elephant. And you know, in the end of the day, they killed him. They Largatrealed him up and give him all Tripsosol and all other things and bits and pieces. They give him a beaker full of drugs they used to give him. So they chopped him, mate. They killed him. Fighting for Your Life. Get the book, Fighting for Your Life. A lot of that book, I should imagine 3/4 of that book is about George Wilkinson, yeah? I'm in there. 131 149 Hill. 131 149 Hill. That's my number. And that's in there because I was looking after George. I mean, there's so many people that I know. I should imagine people like Ronnie Bender also have been Largatrealed up. I remember Ronnie Bender was on medication, so that could have been Largatreal. I mean, they must have chopped him up a few times. What about the Craze? They've chopped them up a few times, Largatreal. What gives these people the rights to put that into your body and paralyse you and make you and can do whatever they want to do to you? Yeah, they can give you, smash you to pieces, give you whatever they want to give you, and they've done it. You know, there's plenty of people, mate, out there in these prisons that are Largatrealed up, yeah? And after that, they've got to go to, listen, I used to see it in Chelmsford prison where in the centre, we had the hot plates, and behind us, you had the centre itself, yeah? You had the control room there, but the control room used to dish out the drugs all the time. It used to dish out the drugs all the time, and I'm telling you, the amount of people, I mean, I remember seeing Ray Rosa. Anybody know Ray Rosa? Ray Rosa, his brother wasn't there, but Ray was there. Ray was a proper gangster, mate. Ray Rosa, I remember him also Largatrealed. I remember Terry Millman, also Largatrealed. I remember Lou Swallow, also Largatrealed. Why are they giving all these people Largatreal? Why? We know they're the ones they've jabbed up. They're the ones they can't control. So the doctor says, "Oh, give them Largatreal," and they've told it might be something else, and Largatrealed up, and they're complete zombies for a long time, mate. You know. So anyway. I hear the guy talk about Paul Sykes, about this, that, and the other. As far as I'm concerned, Paul Sykes is like anybody else, mate. They say he was a very hard man. He used to do a lot of money collecting. You know, he was a debt collector. He was the enforcer. So many of us. Roy Shaw, enforcer, debt collector, powerful man, Largatrealed. Lenny McLean, powerful man, enforcer, Largatreal. Me, powerful man, enforcer, fighter, whatever I was, powerful man, mate, Largatreal. This is what they do to you, mate. They give you Largatreal. So Billy Blundell, I remember him walking around the yard saying that he's been Largatrealed up. He'd been Largatrealed up. Boy, don't worry, he's an handful. Largatrealed up. I remember, I'm not quite sure about Vicky Dart. I should imagine Vicky Dart has even been Largatrealed up, because Vicky Dart is no fool. He's a right handful with Vicky Dart, and if he went into one, mate, they was in trouble. You know, they was in trouble. He was a good kickboxer, karate expert, aikido, and all them sorts of things. But they had to control him, mate, and they controlled him with Largatreal. It's the same thing. Billy Blundell could have done to him. They must have Largatreal Bill a few times. Billy Hayward. I know definitely they had definitely Largatreal Billy Haywood, mate. Because Billy Haywood, he was a bit of an handful, mate, when I see him. And I don't know about Billy, I don't know about Harry. I don't know about Harry. Harry was completely different to Bill. I mean, look at Eddie Richardson. They definitely 100% Largatreal Eddie Richardson up. And the Craze and all them people, they definitely Largatreal them up. So you tell me how many people they've Largatrealed up over the years, mate, and make them who they are. You don't know what they've done to us. They don't know what they've done to us by giving us that Largatreal. You know what I mean? In the end of the day, you don't know what they've done. You know, just pump it into you like water. Like pump it into you, get it into you. And this guy that does this prison thing, you know, this Screw, who is a medical officer or Screw, he's the one jabbing you up. He's telling stories, and of course it's good to listen to him. I even listen to his stories, yeah, where he's saying he's jabbing people up with 5 mils, 2.5 mils of Largatreal. Really? Is that what it is? You're jabbing us up with 2.5, 5 mils of Largatreal. I'm one of them people that you jabbed up and all that Largatreal. Anyway, this is Bang Bang Radio. Please like and subscribe. Sorry I got into one a little bit, but sometimes you got to, yeah? Take care, have a nice day, yeah? Bye-bye.